Welcome to Breaking the Chain. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Cody.
And welcome to our second attempt of recording this podcast. So we don't have a ton to talk about today. We only have nationals. We have the banned and restricted announcement. There's the new set that dropped, and maybe there's a little bit of Discord along the way. But it's a short one. You know how it is.
Yeah. Surely this will be a short episode.
Yeah.
We'll never actually make it long with the four topics that we have to talk about.
Yeah. I don't think historically we've ever said this will probably be 50 minutes and then reach like an hour and 45 minutes now.
Yeah, that's never happened. We're always very accurate with what we say. We have a
Mhm.
podcast. So it is what it is. It's just facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, let's dive into it with your week in Flesh and Blood, because my week in Flesh and Blood was unfortunately non-existent. But how about yours?
So went to an armory, and the armory is over at our the one I go to has been like really popping off recently since Omens of the Third Age. Like I think we've been hitting right around 20 people, if not more, every single week. Like last week, I know we hit 27, which is insane. It's been super cool.
Why?
But yeah, it's so cool, and there's a lot of people. But sitting down, playing Best Girl, playing Valda, I played into
Best girl's Betsy.
but but anyways, going back to Valda, sitting down, playing first round, played into Ziggy, and the more I play into Ziggy, the more I feel good into Ziggy. And this match was a lot closer than I expected. Emmy played. I forget what that card is, but it's like your target aura gets +3 counters.
Oh, well, now I had literally had it on top of my head, and then I'll look it up.
Okay. But anyways, she played that, and it really swung the game around because it was like 28 to 10. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've got this game in the bag. And then
Legends.
Astral Etchings, yes. Played Astral Etchings, and then I couldn't clear the Spectral Shield for like 2 turns. So it dealt and I just didn't block it. So it was like 8, 16, 20. Yeah, 24. It just dealt 24 damage to me. I'm like, oh my goodness, that was a lot of damage.
Was it
So,
was it like Gone in a Flash style? Was it very similar to the one that tops US Nats? What type of Ziggy was it?
I forget. There was definitely Gone in a Flash in the deck, but it wasn't played. I know I saw blocked with twice, but it wasn't played.
It is one of the very few blocking cards in the deck.
Mhm. Yeah, and then the other thing is, I know I played into a Ziggy the week prior, and when Gone in a Flash came out and they went and arsenaled it, I Tectonic's Instability to put it on the bottom of the deck again.
Yep.
So they lost their weapon. And then the thing is if they choose to keep it in hand, I'm gonna also have to put them in their place, so they have to worry about discarding it that way. So there's no real safe space for them to keep it, which I think is one reason I'm like, oh okay, Ziggy doesn't feel so bad. And then also, I finally got my own Roiling Fissures, but
Nice.
Roiling Fissure also makes the deck feel really strong into Ziggy because they'll go Haze Bending Shimmers, what are you gonna do? And I go, Roiling Fissure. Anyways, I'll still attack you for 10.
Yeah, it's almost like a Midas touch situation, right?
Yeah.
You get this go again board state removal while also throwing damage to their face still.
Yeah. It is very nice. And I remember when Roiling Fissure came out, and I was like, this card is bull. It's so bad. It will never see play. And now that I play it, I'm like, this card is sick. It's so good. I just want to keep playing it.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool in Valda too, because it's really easy to get a lot of seismic generation. So worst case scenario, they set out a huge board, and I'm like, okay, Roiling Fissure, pop 3 seismic surge, destroy 4 auras. That was 3 of your action points just gone. So
yeah,
no, and that's pretty cool. But no, it definitely makes the matchup feel a lot better. Where it's I think that fatigue used to or not fatigue, but the only Ziggy I've ever lost to was a Ziggy with 3 remembrances that played 7 Haze Bendings. So that was
That's a lot of haze bendings.
That is a lot of haze bendings and 5 shimmers. So that was
5 shivers.
shivers. Uh, but shimmers, 5 shimmers, 7 haze bendings. That was a lot. So, and I
It's a
only
few.
lost with they had 2 cards left in hand, no deck. Like, so
So you
I
almost
the
beat them
more I
anyway.
play it, yeah, the more I play it, the more I'm like, okay, the Ziggy matchup feels pretty good on the Balda end. I just have a lot of answers. And then the other thing is, it's so easy for like when the opponent just does nothing, it's really easy for me to gain dominate. Like my deck's built to do that, but like, oh, like tectonic instability, sink your arsenal, sink my arsenal. Oh, you even play an instant. Okay, well I'll still get one seismic surge of my own, and then I'll tectonic plating. And if the game's been long enough, I have ley line out. And since it's been probably long enough, I probably have dominate almost every other turn, if not every turn. Like in to the or like to into Emmy, like my Ziggy opponent, I would just like kept dominating every single turn. And I also run the heave 2 cards, which are sick because I can heave 2, and then I can use tectonic instability to put that in my deck again, so I can gain dominate late game again. Because I like tectonic plating, heave 2, and then I will like tectonic instability, sink that to the bottom, dominate a different attack, and then we reach second cycle, and then I go tectonic plating, heave 2, and then I have 10 dominate late game as well. It's like
Yeah.
really cool.
Which is that's exactly what you need in Ziggy, right? As the Guardians, you have to be able to, do this evasive damage to actually clear the board.
Yeah.
Like the special shields with +3 counters. And that was when I played against Nitan at the 1K. It was really rough because I have evasion, but not too much with Betsy. At least not tall
Yeah,
enough.
Betsy's a little different, like, because you also like overpowered's not as good as dominate.
Yep. I
So
know that one.
yeah,
Yep. Okay, so you beat a Ziggy.
yeah. Then we'll skip second. My second matchup, that's not important.
Not relevant, yeah.
Not relevant. My third matchup, I played into a boost Tech Levasan, and they were new to the deck, so it was. I think like Valda has some good matchup into Tech Levasan, and I think she has even better matchup into boost Tech Levasan. So it was like insane because we finished our game in like 10 minutes, and then we like went to start a second game. And then like people are getting up from their games, walking over, and they're like, "You guys are still at like 40-40? Like, how deep into the game are you guys?" It's like, oh, we're in our second game, and everyone was like baffled by that. But no, it was a lot of fun, and I think like it was good. I won the first one, the one that mattered, but no, and then he got me in the second one. But no, it was
Good.
good. It was a lot of fun. I
That
really
boost tech was
love
like a lot of fun.
like I love playing into Tech Love Austin. Like the best game I've had all year was like 3 armories ago where I played into Tech Love Austin. And like I'm sure I said it on the podcast, but it's like every other turn, it's like I don't know who's winning. Like I'm winning. Oh, they're winning. Oh, I'm winning. And it came to like top draw off their deck. They'd like shuffled the turn before. They have 10 cards in deck. And they had to like Tech Levassan ability and draw Fabricate off the top of the deck or they lost the game. And they drew the Fabricate off the top. But it wasn't like a feel bad, like, man, I can't believe you drew Fabricate. It was like, oh, such a good back and forth game. Like every single turn, it felt like a different person was winning. And then like in the end, you played Deer out and you got there. Like it felt so cool. So it's like I love Tech Levassan. I think it's just so back and forth. Like it allows me to have room, but you also have so many ways to block my dominate. And the similar thing with like Ziggy, where I can sink my Heave 2 cards to dominate late game. Like, I can do that into Tech Levasan. Like, the idea is I need to present damage, try and rip their armor. If they don't block or have something to prevent their helmet from being destroyed, I have Headbutt and I pummel. Like, there's a lot they have to play around, and there's a lot I have to play around. Because obviously, I can't let them transform. And if they do transform, I've got to pray and hope they're under 10 health so I can just dominate, kill them. Or like throw enough damage to rip cards from their hand and have them block with their hero and just keep that up.
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting matchup. For you because yeah, they have all this armor to block your dominates with, but at the same time, it's not free for them to block with the armor because of the other cards you have in your deck. Yeah. Um, so that was round 3. What about this round 2? What happened
You
in round
know,
2?
like I said, it wasn't super important. I played a tough nut, but like it's okay. We don't have to talk too deep about it.
Yeah, so you won that matchup then, right? That's why we're skipping over it.
No, 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 no. So okay,
So I heard a
stop
little bit about
pulling.
this game. I heard that your opponent rolled scab skins like 7 times and never missed.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. No, it was either 4 or 5 times,
Yeah.
but 2 of them were sixes, 2 of them were 5s, and the one was a 4. Like they got two action points every single time, or 3 action points every single time they rolled. And I was already like, I don't know, like I sit down in this match, I'm like, first hand, not so good, whatever. Like, but like his first hand wasn't that good. I'm like, okay, whatever, something happens. And there was one point where he made like a misplay where he lost like 7 to 8 damage, which is a lot of damage. I'm like, man, I can really respond with my hand. My 4 card 8. Or no, it was 5 card 8 because I had an arsenal. But the hand he didn't do anything. I had pummel and arsenal, 3 reds and a blue. And I was like, I'm like, well, I can't. Why couldn't this have been like multiple blues in this hand? But yeah, it was like, here's my 4 card 8. And then he took it. I think that was probably the only damage he took all game. And then he proceeded to kill me.
Yeah, that tends to happen if they just get a free action point every turn.
No, it was a crazy game. I don't know. Like, I want to say, like, he played it well for like up until he started rolling scabs. Because he started rolling scabs when I was at like 20 life and he was at 30 or something like so. It's like, okay, like, what do I have to lose? I'm pretty far ahead. Like, sure, I heard like he can gain momentum back, but like, I used all my armor. So like, it was like a weird point where I'm like, man, if you roll scabs, like, I don't even know if I can come back, even if you roll a 1. And then
Oh
he
no.
rolled 6, and then he rolled 5, and then he rolled 6, and then he rolled 4, and I was just,
Yep.
let me tell you, Buckwild is a crazy card.
Buckwild is a sick card. So it's a
It
it's a
is.
bit strong at times.
It's so good into him, or it like with Tough Nut. Tough Nut makes Buckwild so strong.
Yeah. It's
Seven
a
into
great
7,
extender.
6 into 7, 6 into 8. Oh, also the rock came in for 8 all every turn except for one turn. One turn it came in
Oh,
for
because
7 because
yeah,
it
because
kept
you get to
activating
activate
the
the arms, yeah.
gauntlets. It's like, please stop hitting off the top. I beg you. The toughness doesn't even matter anymore.
Uh,
3
well,
card
ter-
15, 16 value.
bad matchup. Bad matchup. Chalk it up.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I was talking about like every time I play Ziggy, I feel better. Every time I play Tough Nut, I feel worse. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, Tough Nut used to be like, that was such a close game, 1-1, like, real tight. Now it's like, man, it's a Tough Nut. I'm gonna get rolled. What do I do? Like, I think I just have to take out all my defensive options and just pray and hope I can get dominated off early and just keep
Yeah.
that train rolling.
Well, anything else in your Waking Flesh and Blood?
No, I need to start. I need to start practicing for the Pro Tour. It's 3 weeks away.
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit beforehand, but we have a BNR coming up on Monday, and after this weekend, we might have some Living Legends happening, which we'll talk about later as well. So the CC meta is a bit volatile, but you can
Yeah,
definitely do some draft in the meantime. How many drafts have you done?
like, well, one.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
actually more
not a
than I
lot.
thought. I thought it was 0.
Maybe not. I think I know I've watched a few drafts, and I did something. Maybe I don't know. Actually, I don't think I
At
have
least
done a
watching
draft.
some drafts that does help.
Yeah,
Like that is a kickstart. But yeah, you definitely should get some of those under your belt.
no, I definitely need to get a lot more drafting in.
Yeah. But actually,
I
yeah.
try. Okay, no, I remember what
Oh,
it was. I tried to do a few drafts, did not get the opportunity to do the drafts I wanted to do,
that's okay.
and yeah, so I've like I've watched probably like 5, 6 drafts, but I haven't played any.
Yeah, we'll fix that. We'll fix that.
We'll
I'm
fix
gonna
that.
prepare you. We'll get you ready. You'll be a limited genius by the time you
Okay,
hit
good.
Vegas.
Pro Tour.
Um, Speaking of actually going back to my weekend Flesh and Blood, I might be able to start going to that Tuesday Armory regularly going forward. My wife got a new job, and I know she's working this upcoming Tuesday, so I will definitely be there this upcoming Tuesday, and we'll see if that's a a new thing. I've been missing it. I haven't been to a weekly Armory in like a year and a half or something.
Telling
I,
you, it's because Betsy's back.
it's because Betsy, I'm allowed to play again. You
You are
know,
allowed to play
it
again.
honestly is. It's an omen, if you will. That Betsy is back, and then now I get to go to armories again. LSS was listening, so you know.
Just took a
I
minute.
I seriously will be bringing Betsy too.
Like Page
What was that? Oh,
next
it's
week.
Sage. Oh, honestly, even better. Like I love Betsy, but I also
Mm,
love Sage. I'm gonna be bringing. Oh, I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about what I want to bring for Sage. Build something
I have
for it.
no idea what. Maybe I build Chain. Like Chain's apparently bad. Chain sounds fun.
Change bad, but it is fun. So yeah, go for it. So jumping into this past weekend of national championship results, we had, if I'm understanding correctly, I assume they're all covered here. It looks like we had 8 national championships. And of those 8 national championships, the winning heroes were 2 Acilio, 2 Victor, 1 Teklovasin, 1 Dash.io, 1 Ira, and 1 Syndra. And this gave Victor 53 living legend points, which puts him up to 950. I have it here, 951. Tied with Prism now at 951 living legend points. So we might be seeing a Victor LL. Apparently, the rumor is
Being a
that
for
the
LL.
the bulk of the national championship living legend points is this weekend, this current weekend, the 27th. So if Victor gets anywhere close to the same number of wins or percentage points, then Victor will be LL'd.
So I mean, he needs 2 wins in the rest of nationals. I think he can do it.
Well, it depends on the size of the tournament, right?
That's true.
Um,
Good point there.
because if we look here, the 2 wins that Victor got must have been one of the larger ones and one of the medium ones. Because a medium one gets 10 points, a large one gets 25 points, and he's at a 1.5x multiplier. So that's 15
Yeah.
points and 37 points, which would give us
Mm.
52.
Yeah, but it
So
rounds up because of 0.5 because they
right.
do the
So yeah, that's right. That's why I got 53 instead. He just needs to win one more big one and one more medium one, and he's gone. Or 3 medium ones. No, 3 medium ones isn't enough. It'd be 3 medium, and a small. Which I think is very possible. It's a good
I
bet.
think it's extremely possible. I think Victor might leave this weekend. I actually am wondering at this point, does Victor eat a lot of the LL points? Like if there's a lot this weekend, because I hear a majority are this weekend. If he eats like say he eats like 150 LL points because he wins that many events, like how many points go to him and do other heroes LL because he eats so much of the share?
I don't think any other heroes are LLing in the first place. I think it's only Victor that's thinking
Keep Prism around, please. Let
I
people think Prism's good.
Prism did not win a single one, and she has to get the exact same results as Victor. I just don't see that happening. I don't
Yeah.
see Prism winning a big one and a medium one, or 3 mediums and a small.
See, I really want Prism to stay around because I need my free win. Like,
I don't mind if Prism stays around. I think Prism is a good check against some decks. I think,
yeah.
and we'll
I
get into
also
this
think
later when it comes to discourse.
I also think that Prism is actually like a pretty fun and interactive deck in a lot of ways, and the best illusionist that they've ever designed.
Thinking about that one. I don't currently disagree. But I don't know how interactive a lot of decks feel into it. is the main
I don't know
concern.
how interactive illusionists normally feel.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. um, but yeah, we'll see. I think the prediction is Victor LLs and nothing else LLs. Um, but we'll see. I mean, there's a chance that Victor doesn't even LL. How soon? We got a teaser for the next set. You want to talk about that?
Okay, so big news.
Big news.
We know what the next set name is, and there's an article on TCG Player about it. But it is Usurp the Shadow Throne. And I was listening to Common Language podcast, Ashen Wings, and I did not realize that the art for Usurp the Shadow Throne is Chang looking at Ursa, which one sick, super cool. But yeah, so it's from what we know, it's a shadow set so far. Like we know that there's a shadow hero in there, and there's a lot of like fun things. Maybe I should have broken this down a little bit more, but I was gonna just follow the article. There's a lot of fun things to talk about. So first off, we're gonna get more reveals on July 16th, Pro Tour Las Vegas at the keynote. That should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But crazy stuff. This set has 2 Fabled.
2?
It has 2 Fabled.
So we're gonna spend $600?
I'm glad I'm not the only one with that reaction. I saw there was 2 Fables. I'm like, man, that's really cool. I hope they're both unplayable. Please make them unplayable.
Surely this
And
last one is just a fluke.
Yeah. Surely the last like 6 Fables they printed have all been flukes, and they didn't mean for them to actually be playable. But
yeah.
No, but 2 Fables, and I think it's cool. I think it's a unique way, or like a unique thing to do with the game. I like, and I imagine one's going to be like, oh, the monastery as a location, and it's not actually good because none of the locations are really good except for library. And then one's going to be like a gem you pitch that says like Usurp a Rune Chant. Like,
that'd be interesting actually, because it doesn't inherently get you value, right?
yeah.
Actually, I wouldn't hate that. I think that would be a very fine blue pitch gem. Weirdly enough.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of theories here, right? Like you mentioned, there is the theory that there's one playable one and one just kind of like a location landmark that might or might not be playable.
Hopefully neither are playable.
Hopefully neither are playable. Well, I'm okay. Okay, for what it's worth, I'm okay with a Fable being playable. I'm not okay with it being necessary.
I think Plague Hive is like the perfect Fable.
Yes, like Plague Hive is a good example. Yeah.
Yes.
What else?
It's a fun Fable that people love playing, but it also isn't demanded in the decks that can run it.
Exactly. Or there's like a cost to it, like it's a yellow pitch instead or something, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's not just like, why wouldn't you run this type of Fabled? And so another theory. So I guess this other theory branches off of whether or not this is a shadow only set or a shadow and light set. If it is a shadow and light set, my theory is that there's a Fabled for light and a Fabled for shadow. We get one of each.
But we've already had 2 light Fabled, so why can't we have 2 shadow Fables?
Well, you see, which class is James White's favorite?
Runeblade.
Oh shit, you're right. What's his favorite? The second favorite class?
Illusionist.
Yeah, there we go. It would be.
That's where we're getting a shadow illusionist.
Actually, that was a theory that I had. What if we got a shadow Runeblade Necromancer? Because here's the thought.
I wouldn't know how to balance that.
I heard here's my speculation, right? Or my theory, I should say. I think that first of all, a shadow necromancer is a very interesting mechanic to look into.
I feel like they have to build a shadow necromancer. Like they have to.
Yeah, they have to. That's
I think they have to. I think it has to come this set.
It has to come. Ooh, that's even
It
spicier
has
take.
to. Yeah.
So the reason I think that it would be interesting, first of all, to have specifically a Shadow Runeblade Necromancer, is because there is some really cool interactions that you can have when it comes to allies and rune chants. Because allies don't send rune chants, right? So you can
Oh,
play
that's spicy.
these new rune chants, all the seven deadly sin rune chants, attack with allies, and they stick around for later when you want to usurp them, right? And so you don't immediately lose these rune chants. You can play them and they stay for later when you actually want them to pop. Um, Go ahead.
So I was gonna wait until you finished.
Okay.
But
Well,
it could be a like nothing. I guess since we stopped, nothing says Rune Chant is Rune Blade. Does it say Rune Blade token on it? Actually, never mind. Let
it
me check.
might. Honestly, I
Rune
thought it did.
Chant. You might be right. I said that, and I'm like, wait, I'm probably wrong.
It does say Runeblade token, Runeblade instant.
Never mind. Ignore me.
I was gonna be surprised if the rune chant was not locked to Runeblade.
You're right.
But it was funny is that's what I said at first. I was actually talking with with Noah about this last night, which is why I knew about your Tough Night game. But I first said, oh, it'd be cool to have a Shadow Necromancer because the rune chance wouldn't pop when you attack with allies. He's like, you can't do that. They're Runeblade cards. um, so that's when I was like, wait, you could have a Shadow Runeblade Necromancer for a few reasons, right? First of all, there are currently 0 main deckable Necromancer cards. All deck cards for Necromancer are Pirate Necromancer. So the Shadow Runeblade combination doesn't get any main deck cards. I thought the same thing, and I double checked.
No, I know most of it's armor, but now I'm
It's
like
armor.
curious
It's
because
only
I was like,
armor.
I feel like Omens had to give
Nope. That's what I thought too.
like it had
Yeah,
to
no,
give
it's just
like a
armor.
card.
So if you add Necromancer to Shadow Runeblade, they actually don't get any cards added to their pool outside of equipment. And the equipment it's fine. It's not like anything game breaking. So you're not necessarily making the class overpowered. Second of all, I don't think that Shadow Runeblade in and of itself is a broken combination. And we have this proven with Vinset, right? Vinset does not use most of these Runeblade cards or Shadow cards, really, or the Shadow Runeblade. I don't think she uses any Shadow Runeblade cards outside the ones that were specifically designed for her. Outside of like, what's the Go Again card again? There's some generic ones that are very good, but outside of that, there's most of these Shadow Runeblade cards were only good because they got banished for free, right? And I think that simply having Shadow Runeblade as a combination doesn't make a busted hero. If they just printed Shadow Runeblade 0 text box, that hero would be terrible. That's my take. So they can do that. They can do a Shadow Runeblade Necromancer, and we already have dual class heroes in the format because Pirate is a class, not a talent. So dual class is already a thing. I think it's possible. Why not Shadow Runeblade Necromancer? Or just Runeblade Necromancer, honestly. They don't have to do Shadow. It could just be Runeblade Necromancer.
I mean, it's the Shadow set. They're at least
It's supposed to be. It'll be Shadow. But that isn't a possibility too. So that's my theory. I think it'd be really it's a very cool interaction and design space that they get to look into because of the whole Rune Chance and Allies thing. And what's kind of cool too there is that depending on how ally centric it is, if they do go this route, then is it Blasmafet? Oh wait, that's a Vinset specialization, isn't it?
No, it's Levias.
What's the one? How do you summon Ursa again? Is it just
Ursa is Chain, and I think
Just
we
Chain?
can
Hold on.
almost confirm that Chain is coming back.
I don't know. I saw some speculation that showed some early like Omens art and stuff, and we did not get the heroes that were initially shown.
But Ursa is URSUR.
Who's the other? Who's the ally that? Oh, Nazareth. That's who I'm thinking.
Yes.
I'm thinking of Nazareth. How does Nazareth summon again?
If you have
Oblivion, which is a
six,
Shadow Rune Blade. It's a Vincent specialization. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I was double checking.
So all the demon allies are specializations because they are the it's your Embra that these people have made contracts with. So the reason Chain is because he made a contract with Ursur to gain Ursur's power.
I see. Okay,
And Nazareth or Vincent made a contract and a pact with Nazareth to gain Nazareth's power.
that makes sense. Okay.
And yeah, and Levia made a contract by accident. They made a contract with Blasmafit to gain Blasmafit's power. Like that's how that all happened. They gained the power of these demons, and that's so far every shadow hero that we have actually made contracts or pacts or something with one of these demons, these Embras, to gain their power. There's the reason that like Ursur, the Soul Reaper, demands souls. And if Chain doesn't give him souls, Ursur takes his soul. So that's why he has soul shackles and he goes around and he murders people because he's trying to give souls to Ursur so he doesn't die, so he can keep this power so he can complete his mission. And then you have Blasmafit that is like all consuming, and that's why like Levi is a brute because she's just she just consumes. And that's another thing of why there's Levi consumed.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
actually didn't know that. So that's why they're all
Yeah, yeah, but
specializations.
that's how they're all specializations.
Sick.
And
Well,
so,
there goes my theory on allies stacking rune chance to then play Oblivion better.
well, I mean, the thing is, it probably wouldn't be, you could summon Ursur because he's a token. He's not the token itself
That is
is not
fair.
a like chain specialization. Someone else could make a pact with Ursur, you his name, whatever his name is as well. But it would probably be the way to
Nazareth.
summon him is different. While with
I
Chain, you
see.
had to play 6 cards from your banish zone. Someone else could have you have to like Vincent, you need to have 6 rune chants. You could have like a Necromancer Shadow Hero, and it could be if you have 6 allies. Like it could be like if you're doing your room blade, but it's a token.
That's actually it's funny. I never noticed that each of these specializations require the number 6 of something, so it's six
Mhm.
six six.
Yeah, and the idea, and then you have the health and attack is 6 and 6. A lot of like shadow stuff is 666
Yeah.
because of demonic ideas, and that's why everyone's saying that when uh the young shadow hero that we just got, when he grows up, he has to have like 666,
Yep.
6 health, 6 intellect, or 66 health and 6 intellect. Like, and
We'll
that's
see.
why I was coming to the conclusion that he has to be a boss mob.
Well, so there is also a theory that Baelgor is it's someone you can transform to in the limited environment. That's the theory.
Oh,
So you would have some way that you can transform into Baelgor. I don't know how well that theory aligns with the lore, but that was
yeah,
a theory. It's kind of like almost like a scurv thing, where you can be this additional hero, or maybe like you just can draft it.
maybe.
There's
Oh no,
also
that's
that
interesting.
possibility. Um,
I'm
kind of like
interested to see
scurv.
what they mean to do with that hero. There's no way they mean for him just to be a PvE hero. Or not PvE.
Surely
mean
they wouldn't print any heroes only for PvE. They've never done
for
that
pit
before.
fight. Right now, it's a pit fight hero. But if they were to print him for PvE because PvE was coming out, like that'd be pretty sick.
Sure, I mean they've never printed any heroes before that weren't playable in either CC, Blitz, or Sage. That's never been a thing.
I guess that's fair. But those were like expanded back in the day. Like
Yeah. It was mostly that. I agree. Um, but
like
where were
flavor. And
we?
I guess this is like a flavorful hero. Like you could bring in Balgor and then you have him as a flavor hero, just like the merchants. But he's so much cooler than a merchant. He's a demon. Like I want to play him. I want to see him. I want to battle
Well,
against him.
and that's why it'd be cool that like if you had some sort of contract you could complete to turn into him.
Mm.
Right. That would be kind of interesting. And then you would
or
also probably
summon
gain
him.
health. Or well, you can't really summon him because he's a hero, right? But maybe there's an ally token you can summon instead.
Well, I
Um,
mean, like when you summon him, like the idea is you like sacrifice yourself and replace your hero instead of like
right, like
become
you're
him.
consumed and become him. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
That would be cool anyway. It'd be kind of like the Leviah demon
Hmm.
uh
Demi hero.
sideboard card. Demi hero, that's what I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
for. Yeah. But anyway, so that's a theory that I have kind of going back to the beginning is that there's potentially Shadow Light in the set. If that's the case, there's two Fableds, one for Shadow, one for Light, or it's a mono Shadow set, and we get a Shadow Rune Blade Necromancer. I'm hoping for it anyway.
We'll get down into some more details. There's some more spoilers about this set,
Yeah.
but the key art is so cool. And
Yes.
like the one thing I want to say about like the key art is I didn't realize how big Ursa is.
Yeah.
Like this is the top. Like if you look at the key art, Chain is standing on top of Ursa's scythe, looking down at Ursa, and like Ursa's crown and Ursa's oblivion head. Like, and
Yeah,
look
it's a
how
very
big
cool picture.
it is. A sick picture. I want that card so bad. That's such a cool card. What if that's just Chain's art for his hero?
It won't be, but it could be a
It
specialization.
won't be. It could be a specialization. It could be like a new way to summon Ursa. Like, but no,
Yeah.
that's so cool. That's so cool. And like, I just didn't realize how big Ursa is. But kind of back to the Fabled conversation. I feel like I had one more thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I hope they're not playable, but I think it's a super an interesting thing for the game, and I am interested to because are Fables going to be just as rare, and now you have a chance of getting one or the other, or is it going to be Fables are more common because there's two of them? That's like the one thing I wonder.
That is actually a very interesting thought. I didn't think about that because this is the first time we've had a dual Fabled set, right?
Mhm.
I'm trying to think if there's any other sets that we've had more than one Fabled, but I don't think that's the case.
This is the first dual Fable set.
I'm trying to find the maybe it was the TCG article, TCG player article, I should say. But there is the set. Here it is, the set breakdown. Yeah, two
Yeah, that's what I
Fabled.
have. Sorry, I should have linked that for you.
Yes, on TCG player. There it is. So the interesting thing is that because sometimes we do get the like typical rarity when we get these types of breakdowns, but we didn't get that here. Um, Something else that I noticed, I don't how actually I meant to look into this too. I forgot. 5 legendaries, is that average or is that low? That seems kind of low to me.
I think that's average.
Is it average? Okay.
I mean, like, look at Omens. We had the legendary Lightning. You had the legendary Dual Helmet. You had the legendary Shield. You had the legendary.
Looking it up. Set
The
breakdown.
generic legendary. I think 5 is average, if not actually one above average.
I can't really. I'm trying to find where it says that.
I
It
mean, if
said
we
we
go
already
to
did the set
February,
breakdown.
you could probably go to February, search by set,
Yeah, I could look at. Oh, here we go.
and then
One Fabled. Yeah, there's only 5 legendary. Okay. 12 Marvel in Omens versus
I think it's 8.
27 Marvels in
Oh,
Usurp.
well, that's a lot.
You know what? You know what though? That's actually something we can speculate on right there. 27 Marvels. Now, let me take a quick look at High Seas number of Marvels. High Seas set breakdown. Is it only 11 Marvels?
I see only has 11
Oh, 21
marbles.
Marvels. 21 Marvels.
Okay.
So
I'm telling you, it's Necromancer.
that's a Necromancer. That's a
Or
Necromancer set
Illusionist.
right
They
there.
can't do or Illusionist because they have to do marbles of every
But
Illusionist.
we
But
already have
that
a
has to be Necromancer.
we already have an ally illusionist, so we gotta get our ally Runeblade now.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It has to be Necromancer.
Dude, I think it's true. I think it's
See?
I think it's the Necromancer. That makes sense. Why else would there be so many Marvels? I mean, we do have some Marvels already pointed out, right? The the 7 Deadly Sin rune chants, right? So that's 7 marbles right
Yeah.
there.
And then you also have a
Balgor.
Balgor.
Yeah.
So you have 8.
I think we're getting Necromancer. I'm
I,
saying that
I'm
like
glad
seals the
you're
deal for
finally
me.
on my chain.
That
On
seals
my
the deal for
train.
me. On your
my
chain.
chain.
Oh, that's so sick. I'm so excited. Yes. I'm gonna play
We'll
this.
see.
Please make it
I
a
mean,
Shadow
don't be.
Runeblade Necromancer.
That would be crazy. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think it's just gonna be Necromancer. But
But they don't have there's not enough Necromancer. There's no Necromancer cards. Like no base
and they
Necromancer
can
cards.
introduce them.
They could. They could.
And they could also not introduce them and just do shadow cards and shadow necro.
They would almost certainly do the same thing, right? They would be only Shadow Necromancer, right? Just like we have Pirate Necromancer. But I'm hoping. I mean, I guess it has to be Shadow. There's no way it's not Shadow, and so I'm just hoping that it's also Runeblade. The main thing too is like I want that design space to be explored. The rune chant with allies design space seems like a very cool design space. Plus, it's not very overpowered either because your opponent there's so many aura destruction effects in the format that like there's so much aura interaction now that having this rune chant stick around for when it's powerful is not the strongest thing, right? Like it is vulnerable whenever you play it. Um you know
So
what? You know what's interesting is it could even be like the allies are only played by usurping a rune chant. That's how you play an ally.
that's interesting. Yeah. But jumping into the next part of this,
I'm
we
excited. I'm
have
so excited now.
we have the Silver Age content coming out from this, and I don't know if you've seen this, but we are getting Silver
What are you
Age
talking
decks
about?
from Usurp the Shadow Throne.
that?
And the display has 6 decks in it. 2 of Hero A and 4 of Hero B.
What? Seeing this now. What does that mean?
It's interesting seeing your reaction live. Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like, why? Why 4 of one and 2 of the other?
Um, Interesting. I I want to look up something else when it comes to a like the Silver Age Chapter 3 display. Actually, I think it's linked here, isn't it? Silver Age Chapter 3. Each display comes with 10 decks, 2 of each hero. What if? Yeah, so it's got to be 2 forms of Hero B or something, right? But you would think that it
That's
would
one thing I heard of.
you would think that it would be like it would be counted as different heroes though, right? Would be the thought.
So one thing that I heard, which was interesting, was I heard again. I think it was from the Common Language podcast, but the idea that like with the Hero B, that deck, it's like you have a hero, like one hero that has 2 different text boxes. So you just flip it, and then it plays the deck completely different.
Interesting. But you still wouldn't. Why would you have 4x in a box that way? That still doesn't make sense
Because
because
then,
they would be identical decks still, right?
yeah, I don't know.
I feel like the
Like,
decks themselves have to be different. But then why would they be named? Why would it be named Hero B? Trying to figure this out. The only explanation that makes sense is that it's the same hero, but with different. I don't know what it's called. What like the text after the name? You know, like chain bound by shadow. You know, like what like
mm,
that secondary part of the tech of the name.
yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. You'd like flip it, and it plays the deck differently.
But what I'm saying is you wouldn't flip a card. It would literally be 2 different versions of the same hero.
Yeah.
That you would run, and they would
Sorry,
have
like I didn't
different play
explain that very
styles.
well. That's kind of what I was saying. Is like they have different
Okay.
play styles, but you can like, oh, one side has like chain bound by shadows, and then the other side has like chain soul eater or something weird like that.
Okay. I see what you're saying. You're saying it's still a double sided card, but the decks are built differently.
No, no, like the decks would be built the same. It's just that decks play differently by which version of that token you play.
What I'm trying to get at is that what you would still, I don't see why you would have 4x of that deck because it's still four of the same identical deck, and that's just assuming that it's more
Oh,
popular than the other one, which I don't think you want to. I don't think you want to do, but maybe you do. I don't know. It seems odd to me.
I
I
wouldn't
think it would
know.
be more. It would make more sense, even if it's a double-sided hero, that the decks are built differently. Like it's like Silver Age deck A and Silver Age deck B, and there's just two completely different ways you can play the deck. One maybe one is way more ally centric if it's the Necromancer, and the other one is much more attack heavy centric. And so it's just two
Yeah,
different styles of how you play the deck. That's a theory I could have. It could be literally the same hero, but then it's two different ways you can play the deck. Um,
I think that's super interesting. Like, what a weird thing to say
yeah.
and post.
I
And
I like that they spoiled it this way, where it's like we just have this speculation. We have no idea. Like this is such a
Mhm.
confusing thing to give us. I mean, now we just get to our minds run free. Um, moving on though, because I feel like we probably spent too much time on that. We also got Armory Deck Malice, the name of the Armory deck that's getting released with the set. So every time an Armory deck has a name, that's the name of the hero,
Yep.
right? Armory Deck Hala, Armory Deck Jarl. So
So we have Malice.
we know a hero name. It's Malice. Someone's name is
So
Malice.
we know our necromancer's name.
Yes, because it's always going to be the Necromancer.
It has to be. It has to be.
It literally has to be. So the Necromancer's name is Malice. Um, we also know it's a $40 deck, which means that it's not a brand new hero. It's going to be a hero that's in Usurp the Shadow Throne. Because if it was a brand new hero, it would be an Origins deck, and it would be $60.
For no good
um,
reason. Well, I think the hollow one I could respect it being $60 because every single card is a new card, but still,
okay, that's
I
true.
know.
That's true.
But
Um,
Jarl was
Jarl was Jarl.
Jarl was
Um,
Jarl.
but yeah, so we have a hero name, Malice. Probably, almost certainly the Necromancer. Um, could be Hero B, or it could be Hero A. So okay, that's actually an interesting thought though. Is that if we are thinking that it's a two hero set with maybe multiple ways to play one of the heroes, that would be interesting. That would support a light and dark side, right? It would mean that there's a light hero and a dark hero, and maybe,
There's no
but
chain in there if one's Malice.
if one's, I mean, we might not get chain. It might not
I
happen.
don't think people like hearing that.
I mean, we thought we were gonna get chain when we got Vincent, right? And we didn't get chain.
Yeah, but there's nothing telling us we'd get Chain. Like the difference is there was nothing like, oh, here's a spoiler about Chain. It was just like, hey, we're getting Dusk Till Dawn. It has something to do with Monarch 3. And people are like, oh my god, we're gonna get Chain. And they're like, hey, here's Prism again. No Chain. But this time they literally opened up. They opened up this teaser for the new set with Chain as the face. There's no way we don't get Chain. People have been begging for Chain.
I feel like there's a way.
I feel like there is a way, but like I don't want to
I feel like
believe
there's
it.
a way. Because I mean, like for
No,
lore reasons, you could just have somebody who's like, um, what's the word of like an underling in that sense? Like a
Minion.
apprentice, maybe is what I'm
Oh,
thinking of. Like an apprentice of chain, right? Um, he could just be starting. He could be starting the war or starting a battle, but he's not actually like someone you can play for that. I don't know. I'm not a lore expert, but that's a theory, right?
I mean, in the
Um,
video it says we need to win this battle, and it's the battle for Solana.
yeah, interesting. I'm so excited for this set.
I am. I'm so excited too.
Mostly because I passed on the Pirate Necromancer. I everyone kept asking me, "Wait, I thought you'd be playing Gravy. Like, why aren't you playing Gravy?" And at the time, it was like, "Oh, I have Dash. Oh, why would I play Gravy? I'm having a blast."
Mhm.
And so I didn't end up picking up Gravy. And now I feel like I don't want to pick it up now. Um, but I am very down to pick up a Shadow Runeblade Necromancer. Um, You'll be catching me playing that hero for sure. After I'm done playing Olympia, of course. But any other speculation? Any other speculations on this set before we move
I
on?
just think it's super cool. I'm excited to finally get Monarch Part 3. Like, the interesting thing is, like, are they gonna do the, like, Attack on Titan thing? And it's like, this is Monarch Part 3, Part A. So we technically are finishing it in Part 3. But then the next set after that is the Light set. And then you have the Shadow and the Light set. And then you can finish the story. And we'll see.
That's actually something else I heard. I heard that some people were really not wanting it to be a mono shadow set. Um, there was some pushback on that, mostly when it comes to just like it not being interesting for some players because they don't feel like they want to. It's almost like with the omens being an all lightning set. Um, with this one, if it's an all shadow set, people have similar vibes of like, well, I'm not interested in that talent, so I don't want to pick up anything in this set.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to get to, like, it's the game's too big now. Like, it's too big to be into everything. And like Omens was not my set. I didn't care for Omens. I've opened a box when I normally open like a case. I've opened one box of Omens. Like, I had to open it because like I love Flesh and Blood. Like, I'm gonna open every set. Like, I have to at least have a box of every set. I'm not gonna say no. But like, I think it's just getting to the point where the game's too big for you to want every single set. Like, they have to go back and support stuff that you're not going to be a fan of. And like,
Yeah.
I was Omen's last set. I didn't care about any of the classes. I didn't care about the talent. Whatever. Like, and I think that has to be fine. It's
Yeah,
it's
and
just
it is something very unique to
yeah.
Flesh and Blood, right? Because, like, for example, Magic the Gathering, every set has all, is it 5 colors? It's 5 colors, right? Um,
Yes. It's something like that.
anyway,
You can
I'm
tell
not
we came from Magic.
right, yeah. Which is so funny because most people came from Magic. I did
Yeah.
not.
I did not either.
And so yeah, like every set has support for all of the colors, right? And each person plays, usually has an identity with a color. And so they
Mm.
always get support. And Flesh and Blood's kind of mitigated that with the expansion slot, right? You have this expansion slot that usually supports your class in some way. But that doesn't incentivize you to buy a box, right? It just incentivizes you to pick it up third hand because you don't need any of the other cards in the set. You just want a single card or two out of the set. Um, and so it's a unique thing that Flesh and Blood has, right? And the only other card game I can think of that is in a similar boat is like Yu-Gi-Oh, where usually it's an entire archetype in a set, right? You might not know. I don't know if you've ever touched Yu-Gi-Oh. I used to play that back in the
I've
day.
played a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, but I've never opened Yu-Gi-Oh.
I see. Because like basically for at least back when I played, I'm not entirely sure how it works these days. When a set came out, it would it would basically introduce an entire new archetype. It would be almost like a new class. And so
Yeah, where
it
it's
was
like
also
I know
kind of
there's like a
similar.
dragon deck and there's not a gypsy
Yeah.
deck, but
But
there's
at the same time, like usually there were
yeah.
like every spell could be played in any deck. It just wouldn't make sense
Yeah.
to do so. um, and so you still got support for your other decks typically. But anyway, that's the only other TCG I can think of that has a
Has a
similar
similar
problem.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Flesh and Blood has created like a unique problem for itself. And like I think it's like good in some ways because like people are so invested. Like I love Valdo. Like you give me anything, like drip feed me like Valdo like spoilers or something like something that involves Valdo like once a year and I'm like fiending for it. Like I'm all over it. But like again, like you go into Omens and I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's probably good for the game because it's so expensive. So I don't have to invest $1,000 each set just to try and keep playing the game.
Yeah, that is the nice part is that yeah, you kind of just don't have to engage with a lot of the expenditure of new sets as long as you're content with what you have. Um, which that does kind of lead into our into one of the next topics, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Um, anything else on Usurp the Shadow Throne before we move on?
Um, I'm really excited. I don't know.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
even if like the set's not fun, I hope that like fun for all players. Like based on that conversation we had, I hope they really dive into the lore. And it feels like the lore has been like pulled back a little bit, but we know they expanded their lore team and their like story team. We know it's bigger. Where have they been? And that's why I'm like really hoping, really praying that it's all been for this set to expand this lore, to talk about the Seeds of Solano, how the Seeds of Solano is going, and then maybe like after the set release, da 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 da, and then it breaks into the because like you could do a nut like if they do shadow set, light set, like two parts to this. You could build a huge lore about the shadow side going into this war, and then have it be the next set. You break the lore into the next set of like, oh, they're winning the siege, they're invading the city, they're climbing through the city, up through the library, and then like Prism awakens soul, and then boom, light set. And then like yeah, and then like that could be the break of the light set, and it's like the lore like ends for the shadow, but you have super deep expansive lore. And then you go like at the end of the shadow, like at the end of the the shadow set, they're going up and you see Prism at the end of the hallway or on the edge of a balcony overlooking the city, right? Like they're invading, there's Chain looking at Prism as like overlooking the balcony, and then set ends and everyone's like, oh, another cliffhanger. That's crazy. How could they have done this to us? And then like a month later, when like the next Pro Tour comes around or when Worlds comes around or something like that, they're like, by the way, and then like the spoiler just starts off from there, and like or the spoiler for the second start off from there, and it starts from that image of Prism at the end of the hallway, and then boom, summons like Soul or whatever, and then like Awaken Her Soul, summons Soul, light shadows over the city, and boom, start of the light set. And that's how you spoil it. Like, wouldn't that be sick? Wouldn't that be so cool?
That would be so
like,
sick.
And it's a yeah, and then it's like the picture of the set, like where in this set you have like Chain standing over Ursa. The next one could be like Prism on a balcony over Soul. Like
That would be so cool, actually, to have that parallel be facing the opposite direction too. So like Chain right now, Chain's looking to the right, and then on that other one, if you Prism looking to the left. Oh, that'd be sick.
yeah. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you could do some really, really cool things with the lore of this set. And I'm really excited. I'm hoping this is where the lore team is, and I want a lore book too, please, and lore book one reprints, please. I beg you. But yeah, that's what I think is like cool about this set. Like, even if
Yeah.
we don't get the cards part of the set that we care about, say I don't want to play any of the shadow stuff, sure, whatever. Give us the lore. Give us something juicy. Give us that steak. I just want to keep eating into
Give me
it.
that
I
steak.
want to read. I want to read this so bad. I want to read the lore of this world and what's happening. And we haven't got a lot. Like we got a lot. No, I will give them that. But
I'm gonna screw it up. The Monarch War.
The War of the Monarchs.
Or the Monarchs. That's definitely the most. As someone who hasn't really dove into the lore at all, that's the most interesting part of the lore to me. It is
the most important part of the lore too.
Well, okay, I guess that makes sense. It's just such a big part of the game. It feels like, which would make sense why it's the most important.
And like I've put the emphasis on this before, but it's like the idea, like to me, like the idea of finishing the War of Monarchs is when the game really starts. Like when the game really is flesh and blood, because it feels like this entire time, all 20 sets up to this point have been building up World, building up to something big happening. Like literally this last set was omens of the Third Age. It's an omen of what's about to happen.
Yep.
It has all been building this world and building everything up to what is about to happen. And it has been using the War of the Monarch, that story. It's been using that story to elevate the build up. And this is the catalyst. Like this is the peak. And that's where I'm like, I feel like they're gonna move the lore to the peak, and then that's where Flesh and Blood starts, because this is the world they live in now. Like this event, like they like summon Soul, summon an old one, and then Chain summons Embras or old ones. Like all of a sudden it brings the old ones back to the physical plane of existence. Like that's what I feel like could happen. They bring the old ones, which are the evil gods or whatever, bring them back to the physical plane of existence in this war, which then causes so many problems and conflicts and like all these things down the line. And then you can like that's where the world starts. Like this is the world we live in. This is what Flesh and Blood is. The War of the Monarchs is what led to where we are, and that's why it's important.
Yeah, that that'll be sick. I'm really excited to see the keynote. Uh,
Mhm.
I won't unfortunately won't be there to see it live, but I'll be watching it from home.
It's been a minute since I've seen one live. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it'll be so cool. I'm excited for you. But let's move on. We have a couple more things to talk about this podcast. Next up is the BNR speculation. Any speculations you have?
I think it's gonna be no changes. I don't think that they really care to do like not so that's the wrong way to phrase it. Not that I don't think they care to do anything, but I think the meta's in an overall okay spot. I don't think anything is overly egregious. And like the one that might be overly egregious, Victor, cough cough, is gonna LL. Like he's going. Like there's no point to ban anything from him when he's leaving. And I'm like, again, I think the only thing that I want banned, or I could truly see banned, is T Toxin, just because it feels like it punishes you for playing the game, and I don't think that's what you want from your game. You don't want to punish the players for trying to interact and play your game, and that card alone feels like it punishes you for that. And I feel like especially since Mario's taken a step down with a couple of new cards introduced. Not that it's necessarily needed. It's just like again, like to me, it's like count your blessings. Well, it's like it's not fun to play against count your blessings because the opponent's not doing anything; they're just gaining life. I find it not fun to play against T Toxin because it punishes me for trying to play the game.
Yeah, no, I
And
think it's
so,
fair. I mean, it's just such a high value card too. Is the main
and like,
problem.
yeah, like, and there are other like 0 for 6s. Like there are other really high value cards, but to have it gain its value off of you trying to play the game is what feels brutal.
Yeah. All right. So then your speculation is no changes, but you would like
Yeah, I don't.
Detoxin banned.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the boat I've been in for a while. But I honestly think they're not going to do anything, and I think that's fine. Like I think it's fine if they're like, hey, the meta's in a healthy spot. Victor, who was leading the charge and maybe was pushing healthy, is leaving. We don't think bans are necessary. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah. I will say it'll be interesting to see there. So we kind of talked about this earlier. The prediction is that Victor LLs, right? We think that even this weekend, Victor will get enough wins to LL.
Yeah.
But this BNR, by the way, I don't know if we mentioned this. This BNR is happening on Monday, which is 2 days from when we're recording this podcast right now. Monday the 29th. So there is a world where Victor does not win enough to get LL'd by the time this BNR comes out. The question is, do we think that LSS is going to do anything if Victor does not LL?
Such a tough question. I
Right?
like. I feel like based on previous history, no. I think they're just
I think
gonna
the
let
answer
it
is also
ride.
no. I
Yeah, I think they're like, Victor might be strong, but he's about to LL. Why, like, whatever.
right. There's like a very slim chance that they're like, okay, this card is banned until Victor leaves, and then it's back. And it could be
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what it could be. It could be like Fiddler's Green or something, something like that. That just like makes this fatigue slop deck um, exist in the first place and
I
be
mean, they
strong.
could just I mean they could since Victor's about to L, they could just hit like visit the Gold Main Estate. They could just or
They could, or they could like
yeah,
the funny thing is that the band remembrance conversation has been revived recently. Is mostly revived before U.S. Nationals, and
yeah.
that could be something too, where they ban remembrance until Victor leaves because it's mostly Victor reshuffling the Goldman estates that is a problem, right? Um, but
Like
I don't know. That would be something too. They
I
could
think
ban
the band
remembrance.
I think that I'm personally fine with Remembrance. I think that like sure there's sometimes where it is really good and egregious. I think Victor is a really, really good example of that. And I think if they want to ban Remembrance, I think this is the ban and restricted announcement they can do. I think that last one was honestly the ban and restricted announcement to do it, but I think this is their last chance to do it because I think this one they can say, "Hey, we like Victor's egregious with this card. We know Victor's leaving, but this is an interaction that can happen with any hero, not just Victor. So for the sake of future-proofing the game, ban Remembrance." And I think people would be like, "Okay, that makes sense." Like especially seeing how Victor uses it, like that makes sense. Okay, that's good. Um, so like I could see Remembrance going just because this is I think their like last chance to honestly ban that card before it feels really strong and broken.
Well, so the interesting thing too is that in the past, Remembrance has been a tool to beat fatigue, not to support fatigue. Um, and unfortunately, Remembrance currently exists as a tool that gives fatigue an endgame, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the reason why this fatigue deck is good is because it has Remembrance. You remove Remembrance, this fatigue deck no longer exists, right? Because it
Yeah,
no longer has
exactly.
as strong of an end game that it can play toward. Um, whereas we do still like it's strictly Visit the Goldman Estate that causes the problem with Remembrance, right? Otherwise, Remembrance is fine. It's actually a healthy part of the game. And so that's why I
Yeah.
think that the only reason that they would ban Remembrance is I would hope temporarily while Victor is here. If Victor sticks around. Otherwise, Remembrance is perfectly fine.
Yeah. I
Um,
just know some people don't like it. And like
yeah,
I'm impartial. I think it's a bad card to put in most decks. Um
exactly. Like if
like I
if it
don't
blocked
actually think
3, it would be a ban worthy card, but it doesn't.
yeah.
And so it's actually
Like
very fine.
yeah, it's like I think most of the time it's just a bad card to put in your deck. It's really only when you have to get around fatigue or you are a fatigue deck looking for an end game solution. Like Yarrow getting your Oakenholds back. Like when it is like those are the only two reasons I see you actually running it. Like even in Balda, I don't run it. There's
Yeah.
no point to run it. Like it just doesn't matter. Like the only time I think about running it is like I was saying, like Tech Levasin and those really slow matchups where I can just get my Heave 2 card back. Like I just want something to gain dominate late game. That or get my spec back for some reason, or even just being able to get an extender like E Strike might be good as well. But like I think 99% of the time when I'm playing Balda, if I replay Remembrance, like I'm not happy. Like I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in the same boat. Like I had one in my Betsy deck, but it was just to get tools to beat fatigue. Like it was just to shuffle my
Yeah.
CNCs and my double downs back in to be able to beat the fatigue decks. Um but yeah, so I don't see a problem with it. I hope that they don't touch it because I think it is a healthy part of the game. But yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I think that it's no changes. Even if Victor doesn't get enough points to LL this weekend, I'm expecting no changes. Because I believe that the upcoming meta once Victor LLs is going to be something like Dash IO, Vincent, Syndra, Mario, Kasai. And I
Mm.
don't think any of those heroes are going to be too dominant in the format. And I don't think there's any preemptive bans that are needed. I do have in this notes a potential unban. I'm going to give the audience a few seconds to think of what card could potentially be unbanned. And it's a very
Outrageous.
surprising card. What'd you say?
I said it's an outrageous guess. So
Well, I mean, honestly, it's really the only guess that makes sense on the list of banned cards.
I agree.
But Skyward Serenade is the card that I think could get unbanned. The new Aurora, I'm sorry for any of the Aurora fans out there, is terrible. It is not good. My Betsy deck can beat it pretty handily. And my Betsy deck, I love Betsy, but it's not good. And that's a good matchup for Betsy. Um, she Aurora needs help. She needs help. And Skyward Serenade, while strong, I don't think would make the deck busted. I don't think it
I
would
don't
put it
think it
over
would
the
make it
edge.
busted either.
I think it would just be a strong card. It's not even a codex level card either. Like we can give Aurora her Skyward Serenade misprint card back.
That's so funny to say that. It's not even codex level. Like,
Yeah.
how does that card still exist? Like,
I
just random
unironically
aside.
I am hoping that they unban Skyward Serenade. I think that that would make for an interesting option. I think Aurora doesn't necessarily become the right pick for anybody, but I think it becomes a very playable deck with Skyward Serenade back.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't even think it becomes very playable. I just think it becomes playable.
I mean, the thing about Skyward Serenade is like there's a lot of good value that
Mhm.
Aurora has, right? She has a lot of one card sixes in the form of these 0 for 4 go agains into her weapon, right? I guess, quote unquote six. It's like one card five if they block the Scorpio, right? And so there are strong things that this deck can do. It's just not good enough currently.
Yeah.
um, I do think also that what's interesting too is that I think out of the three new heroes, Aurora is really the one struggling. Acilio does have a place. It's kind of old Acilio right now, but Acilio does have a place. New Acilio does have a place. Ziggy got top 8 at U.S. Nationals. It's a very
Mhm.
playable deck, and it's just Aurora that just doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah. I wonder what Aurora's good matchups are.
Much.
Yeah.
um,
Albalba.
I could actually look it up, but I just already know I'm gonna see a sea of red if I look at that that table.
It's
um,
not going to be helpful.
yeah. So the other part of the BNR speculation is Silver Age. Um, I don't think that any bans are necessary for Silver Age. I think it's actually in a fine spot, and that is a contentious topic amongst the Colorado local Discord. But I think Silver Age is actually in a perfectly fine spot. We have at the top 8 showdown in Minneapolis, we had a fairly diverse top 8, I should say. And actually, I meant to look up. We've had some Silver Age events since then. I think we had a battlegrounds and we've had some showdowns. So I'm gonna take a look here really quick. Well, national championships, national. Here, battlegrounds. So we had a battlegrounds in Australia. Uh, First place. I'll just do the top 8 first. Oh wait, sorry. This is CC. My bad. This is a CC battlegrounds. I was like first place Kasai. What? Dio's in here. It's because
I
it
know
was
Kasai
CC.
gained LL points from that battleground.
Oh really? I thought
Yeah.
battlegrounds were always Silver Age. I didn't realize they could even be CC. So my bad. I'm wrong. There has not been a Silver Age event since. Um, but in the Minneapolis Silver Age showdown, the top 8 was pretty diverse. There was a 25% Briar meta share, and then only
Mhm.
one made top 8. The roughest conversion rate ever for a hero, I think. And
Yeah.
um there just wasn't anything too dominant. I think that Oldham's conversion rate was a bit higher than desired. I think it was like 5% of the meta share and 2 made top 8 and one of them made the finals. Um we had some illusionists in top 8. We had 2 wizards in top 8. I think it's fine. I think it's a bit of a triangle meta, right? But there are some things that the decks can do for their bad matchups. They aren't unwinnable matchups. And something I brought up in the Silver Age discussion was I think that a lot of the skill expression in Silver Age has been shifted. I do think there's a lot of skill expression in the actual play, but I think a good chunk of it is shifted toward the deck building and not necessarily the turn by turn gameplay because the games are so quick and there's
Yeah.
a bit of randomness factor that's been amplified because of the quick 20 life format. I think some of the skill expression is shifted towards deck selection and deck building, right? Like you have this sideboard that you can suit like heavily tech for certain matchups. You have to be very mindful of what you're going to run into, and obviously this is all applicable to CC as well. But I think that the tech pieces in Silver Age are actually more impactful because of the low life format and these tech pieces having a much larger impact into that matchup. And so I think that your deck construction just matters so much when it comes to exceeding. And we see that with some of these decks just having very interesting sideboards, right? Very interesting game plans. Um, yeah, that's my take. I don't think there's any changes that are needed. I think that it's a fun format. I think
Mhm.
that it's gonna have some randomness to it. It's gonna have some gem pairing, gem luck involved, but I think that's in a fine spot. I don't think that anything
I
needs to change.
My point is, or like the one thing I want to say, like I don't know Sage enough. I haven't really practiced or played a lot of Sage as of recent, so it's like I don't know well enough like what I think should be banned. But it's like at the same point, like what do you think like LSS wants to ban? Because they're not going to ban the cards I think everyone thinks are ban worthy because they're in the decks. So it's like, is
So
there really anything that they would
I
do?
I've heard one take that I would be okay with, which is to ban some, if not all, of the yellow 4 block Guardian cards that came out in Mastery Pack Guardian.
Yeah,
The quote unquote fatigue slop cards. Um, I don't think it's necessary. I think that Old Him provides a check for these aggro decks that is relevant, and I think that is healthy for the game. Uh, but
the
I
thing I want
wouldn't
to say,
go ahead.
or like to that, like I think that would be a good ban outside of this meta. Like they even said that like the only reason that like Briar exists in the state that Briar does is because Oldhim exists in the state that Oldhim does. That
Exactly.
is the only reason that like the chapter deck came out the way it did.
Exactly.
And the problem is if you take away Oldhim's tools that made Briar that strong, all of a sudden Briar becomes even more dominant. And that's I'm like, I don't think like this announcement they're gonna ban anything in Sage because like what cards does LSS want to ban? And it's like, well, maybe they want to ban Burn Up Shock and Lightning Press, but they can't until after the season. They defined that. And then it's like, okay, well maybe they want to ban the Block Forest, but that would make them meta more narrow. That would make it just Briar. So they can't do that. So like they kind of tied one of their hands behind their back. But at the same time, like I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. Like we were talking about that top eight. Like I think it's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be. I think when the ban and restricted came out, we both brought up like, hey, it's flesh and blood. People will find a way around it.
Yeah, and that's one of the beauties of Silver Age in general is that, and we noticed this in the last meta where KO was the deck to beat. It was the best deck in the format,
Mhm.
and then it just kind of stopped winning. People quickly realized that actually it was Ira, and this KO deck is just not even that good. It does some strong things, but it just has a consistency problem that just wasn't letting it win tournaments. Um, and so I think the Silver Age is a very interesting format because it is very dynamic in the meta representation, because of the power level, because of the way that these decks can be teched to beat each other. That unless there's a deck that is just super generically strong and powerful, like Ira was last meta, the format gets to there's so many opportunities for the format to shift and to adapt. Um, but I will say on the topic of Oldhim being the Briar check, the Wizards are also a Briar check. Um,
That's fair.
they also just beat Briar. So I don't know that Oldhim is necessary to beat Briar. I think it just also hinders Briar's dominance.
One thing I will say about this ban and restricted announcement is like it's a little over a month after the last one. Please keep doing that.
Yes,
Like I would love just
please.
a monthly ban because like this one, like I'm okay with just no bans.
Because I think we brought this up like I think 6 months ago or so, where we
Yeah,
were saying, give us more BNRs and just give yourself the opportunity to say no changes.
yeah,
Like it could just be no changes almost every time. But as long as we get these regular BNR opportunities, that's important to keeping the game healthy.
yeah. Because like I don't care if it says no bans this time, and I think there's a lot of times where I'm like, okay, this month I don't care if there's no bans, but there's like been periods where it's like a 4 month period where we're not getting a ban and restricted, and now it's like, man, we've had 3 months of this card being broken. The first 2 months were sure fine, but now by the third month, like this is feeling egregious. We need to do something about it, but we won't until another like 2 or 3 weeks. Well, it's like this is once a month, and like, oh, there's no bad, like, no super egregious cards, nothing that's probably needs to be crazily banned. Like, everything feels pretty good. I'm okay with no changes. And if they do this, and then say next time's the same, like, I'm okay if they hit like 5, 6 no changes in a row on the ban, like ban and restricted. But it's like, it's nice to having it like monthly or bi-monthly, just because if something is broken, we know something coming up soon instead of like really late.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat, obviously. Anything else on the BNR before we move on?
No, I think that's good.
Yeah. Um, so we're at an hour and 20 minutes. Do you think we should talk about this last topic?
Nah, I think we're good.
All right, all right,
Yeah, I think
all
we could have a shorter one for once. I think it's fine.
right. All right, so I'm gonna leave everybody off with the question. By the way, if you liked this episode, please give us a like and subscribe. Comment below whether on YouTube or on Spotify. What are you hoping for in the BNR, if anything? What are your thoughts? Actually, the BNR is whatever. What are your thoughts on the new set? Are you excited for a potential all shadow set? Are you hoping for a necromancer like we are? Let us know in the comments below. And with that, I'm Cody.
Jacob.
Thanks for watching and listening.